In this video, we're going to have a look at how to prepare a weekly budget. So the steps you need to follow when setting a budget is to calculate total income. Then, after you've done total income, calculate your total expenses. The next step after that is to compare your total income with your total expenses to work out whether you have a surplus or a deficit. If you have a deficit and you don't want to be spending more money than what you are earning, you then go back and modify the budget till you decrease your spending. So they're the 4 steps you need to follow when setting a budget. So in our example, we have Zach who earns $350 per week from his job. His expenses are rent, $120 per fortnight, food, $88 per week, entertainment, $42 per week, health insurance of $1,404 per year, and car expenses of $520 per month. We want to prepare a weekly budget for Zach. So let's have a look at how we will prepare Zach's weekly budget. So when we are preparing a budget, we need to start off with determining Zach's income. So we know that Zach earns $350 per week from his job. Now when we're preparing the budget, we want to make sure that we are actually recording the amount of money that Zach gets, not his total income. So if Zach is earning enough to have PAYG withholding taken out from his weekly wage, we need to calculate the net amount. Because $350 is under the threshold, no PAYG is taken out, so we can proceed and include the $350, and then his total income will add up to $350 per week. Now we can move on and have a look at including his expenses into the budget. For each of the expenses provided in the question, we need to go through and work out how much per week is Zach going to spend on that expense. Because if we have a look at the question, we've got fortnight, weekly, monthly, and yearly payments that's included for his expenses. So we need to convert those all to a per week basis. So starting off with rent, we've got $120 per fortnight. Now because a fortnight is 2 weeks, to work out a weekly amount to include in his budget, we can divide 120 divided by 2, which equals 60. So his weekly rent amount is going to be $60. Moving on to food and entertainment, we are provided with that information on a per week basis. So we can include that directly into the budget calculations for total expenses. So for food, it's $88, and for entertainment, it's $42. So no adjustments are needed because they're already on a per week basis. The next expense is health insurance, and we are told that it's going to be $1,404 per year. Now we want a per week allocation to put into the budget, so we can divide 1,404 by 52 weeks in the year. So 1,404 divided by 52 weeks in the year, and that's going to get me an amount of $27 per week, which I can include in my budget. The last expense is the car expense, and that's $520 per month. Now to calculate the per weekly amount, I can't just divide 520 divided by 4, because that is not going to get me an accurate amount per week. So there's 2 steps involved. The first step is to go 520 times by 12 months. That will give me an annual figure. Once I've got the annual figure, I can then divide by 52 weeks to get me a weekly amount. And that calculation is going to come to $120. So once I've included all of the expenses that have been provided to me in the question, I can go ahead and calculate total expenses by adding them all up. So Zach's total expenses is going to equal $300 $337. Now that I've calculated both total income and total expenses, I can go ahead and complete the next step, which is to take away the expenses from the total income. So 350 minus 337, and that's going to leave me with a surplus of $13 per fortnight. And it's a surplus because I am earning more money than I am spending. If I was spending more money, then it would be a deficit. But in this example, it's a surplus of $13. So in his weekly budget, Zach has $13 spare that he can put in the bank and save for an unexpected future expense. So by following the 4 steps, we were able to prepare a weekly budget for Zach based on the information provided in the question.